Okay, now we are going to start solving the problems. But before we start solving the problems, I want you to remember all these standard cases and what are the values. Okay, even if you don't remember the standard values or the maximum shear force and maximum bending moment, I want you to at least remember how the shear force diagram varies, whether it is constant or linear or parabolic. Okay, this we are going to use while solving the problems. If you look at this, these are the standard cases which we have discussed. If there is a beam, cantilever beam with point load at the end, then suddenly load will increase to the applied load, then it is going to remain constant throughout the length of the beam. Okay, so if there is a point load, the load is going to remain constant, but bending moment is going to vary linearly. This we are going to use for solving problems, and this value, maximum bending moment and maximum shear force, you need it for solving problems in 5th unit, but variation right now you need it. Then there is a cantilever beam subjected to UDL of load intensity W. Under this condition, the shear force diagram varies linearly, alright, and the bending moment diagram varies parabolically. Then coming to cantilever beam subjected to UVL or uniformly varying load, the the shear force diagram varies parabolically curved like this, and the bending moment diagram varies in the form of cubic curve. Then this is an example for constant bending moment. Whenever there is a constant bending moment, remember this thing, shear force is going to be 0, and bending moment is constant throughout the length of the beam. That is, whatever the value is there, that itself m. It is if it is clockwise, it is trying to bend the beam downward, so it is minus m. This you need to remember, especially these two, because we are going to use them for solving problem. These two are very important. Okay, then just now we have discussed in our previous class, this is simply supported beam subjected to UDL of load intensity W. Again you can see here, just like cantilever beam, the SFD curve is varying linearly. There also it was varying linearly, here also it is varying linearly, and the BMD curve is varying in the form of parabola. Okay, and one more point you need to remember here is, when the shear force is 0, then bending moment will be maximum. Okay, this point you need to remember. This we have not yet discussed. We are going to discuss this type of loading right now. Okay, this we have already discussed in lab, but how this graph came, now we can begin. We can consider this as a problem and we can start solving the problems. These were the standard cases. Okay, now let us start solving problems using the concepts which we have discussed for standard cases. This is an example wherein there is a beam like this having a length L, and a load of W is applied exactly at the center at a distance L by 2 from left end, and also at a distance L by 2 from right end. This beam is supported on a hinge support at left end and on a roller support at the right end. Okay, because of this support there will be reaction RA at the left end and reaction RB at the right end. We need to calculate the value of this RA and RB, but directly you can say, since this is a symmetric loading exactly acting at the center, whatever load is there, that load will get split into two half. Then RA will be W by 2 and RB will be W by 2. But in exam you need to calculate it and then you need to represent these forces. But first we'll see how to draw the shear force diagram and bending moment diagram for the problems. Now we are into the problems. This loading is also called as 3-point bending because there are two supports and there is a load exactly at the center. There are 3 forces acting here. So this is also called as 3-point bending. We have already performed this type of loading in our strength of materials lab when we were performing bending test or flexure test on wooden beam. Okay, the wooden beam was kept on the support and then load was applied exactly at the center. We have already used this type of loading arrangement in our strength of materials lab. Now I'll explain you what are the procedure, and then we can plot what is the how to plot the we can understand how to plot the graph. Okay, first procedure or first thing you need to do here is calculate the reaction forces, that is reaction at RA and reaction at RB. For calculating this, we are going to use the static equilibrium equation, that is summation of Fx equal to 0, but we cannot use that equation because there are no forces in x direction. Then second equation is summation of Fy equal to 0, and third is summation of moment about A equal to 0 or B equal to 0, or summation of moment about C equal to 0. So first we'll calculate that. Now how we are going to calculate that is, look here, for calculating reaction forces, all the upward forces you take them positive. And okay, so first thing we need to consider is calculating the reaction force RA and RB. For that we are going to consider upward forces as positive and downward force as negative. So RA and RB are acting upward, so I'm going to take them as positive, that is plus RA plus RB. And the load W is acting in downward direction, so it is minus W is equal to 0. Then if I send this minus W to right side of the equation, it will become plus W. So RA plus RB will be equal to W. Let me call this as equation number 1. Then second static equation is summation of moment. I am going to take summation of moment about A equal to 0. For that, if the force is giving me clockwise movement, then I'll take positive. If the force is giving me anti-clockwise movement with respect to point A, then I'll take it as negative. Okay, again these sign conventions are different, and the sign convention for SFD and BMD are different. Come from right, there is a reaction RB and it is giving me anti-clockwise movement, so I'm going to take it as negative. RB into perpendicular distance from this RB to this point A is L, so it will become minus RB into L. Then this force is giving me clockwise movement with respect to point A, so I'm going to take it as plus. Force is W and perpendicular distance is L by 2, so plus W into L by 2. If I take this minus RB into L to right side, it will become plus, so plus RB into L will become equal to WL by 2. L and L will get cancelled, so RB is equal to W by 2. Put this as equation 2 and substitute this equation 2 in equation 1. So RA will become W minus RB, that is W minus W by 2, W minus W by 2. So you'll get RA as W by 2. Once you get the reaction force, you can write RA as W by 2 and RB as W by 2. Now you can start plotting the shear force diagram and bending moment diagram. Once you write the reactions RA and RB, the first thing for plotting the SFD and BMD is wherever there are forces acting. For example, at point B there is a force acting, at point C also there is a force acting, at point A also there is a force acting. At these points you draw a vertical lines. From point A I am drawing a vertical line, and from point C also I am drawing a vertical line, and then from point B also I am drawing a vertical line. Since there are three forces, I am drawing three vertical lines below them. Once you draw the vertical line, then the first step you need to do is, wherever the forces are there, mark two cross section, one just at the left of this force. See, this is a force, just left to the force I am drawing one cross section, and just to the right and I am drawing one more cross section. Similarly for this force, just to the left I am drawing one cross section, and just to the right I am drawing one more cross section. The distance between this force is actually 0 itself, but for drawing the bending moment and shear force diagram I am considering it just to the left and just to the right. Similarly there is one more force here to the right, and to the just to the left I am drawing a section. Then for drawing SFD, we are going to consider summation of all the forces. For example, if I want to consider this section, I am going to consider all summation of all the forces either to the right or either to the left. I am comfortable to go from the right to left, so I am going to go from right to left. How to plot the SFD? First you need to know the sign convention. If only when you know sign convention you can plot the graph very easily. After marking these sections, the first thing you need to do here is okay, once you draw the zero shear force line, first you need to draw a zero shear force line which is horizontal. Then what you need to do is you can come either from the right hand side or you can come from the left hand side. Start with right hand side. I am comfortable from right hand side. Select this section. Okay, when I am selecting this section, there is no force from the right hand side, so on this section the force is 0. I am writing it as 0. Now after this cross section, move to this section. Okay, I am coming from right to left, and when I consider this section, again come from right side, there is one force on the right hand side of this section. This force is acting upward. Okay, to any section on the right hand side, if the force is upward, shear force is upward, we take it as negative. So I am taking this force as negative, that is minus W by 2. The distance between this section force and this section is 0. Just to differentiate, I am writing this section like this. Okay, so from 0 the force we are going to take it as minus W by 2 because it is acting upwards to right of this section. Again I am saying the distance between this force and this section is 0. Just to differentiate and to plot this SFD, we are representing it like this. Then after this section, come to this section. Okay, when I come to this section, to right hand side of this section there is no any other force apart from this. That means from here whatever force minus W by 2 was there, same force is going to continue up to this section because there is no any additional force to add or subtract. So same force is going to continue up to this point, that is this section. Okay, once I finish this section, consider this section. Okay, this is just to the left of this force. Now when I'm considering this section, look, come from the right hand side, there are two forces, one is this force and other is this force. So if I want shear force at this section, I need to add both these forces. To right hand side, this is in the upward direction, so take it as minus W by 2, and this is in downward direction, take it as plus W. Plus W minus W by 2 will give me plus W by 2, that is W minus W by 2 will be W by 2. So now the curve which was at minus W by 2 at this section, now suddenly it is going to plus W by 2. Okay, both the sections are nearby, almost distance is 0, so I am representing them by same line, on same line. So from minus W by 2 the curve will go to plus W by 2 because of this section. Okay, now if you want to verify, okay, now consider this section. Okay, now when I am considering this section, I can come from right side. Okay, when I am coming from right side, again there are only two forces, one is this one and next is this, which I have already considered here. This force I am getting by adding these two forces. So when I consider this section, the same two forces are going to remain. So from here onwards there will be a constant straight line, there will be constant straight line up to this section. Now as soon as I go to this section, okay, I need to consider this force also because this is on the right hand side of this section. So for this section, add all the forces on the right hand side, that is this is minus W by 2 because it is upward in the right hand side, in the right side of the section, and this is minus W by 2, this is plus W because it is downward to the right of this section, and this is upward, so it is minus W by 2. So plus W minus W by 2 minus w by 2 will become 0. So from here again it is going to go to 0. This is how we draw shear force diagram. Okay, you can go from right hand side also, or you can go from left hand side also. For example, if I consider this section and if I go from left side, okay, for this section if I go from left side, I need to consider all the forces in the left hand side. Okay, if for this section all the forces in the left hand side, there is only one force, that is w by 2. To left hand, for this section in the left hand side, since this force is acting upward, it will be positive. Okay, it will be positive w by 2. Here you can see here it is positive w by 2, and up to this point no other force is acting, so it is positive w by 2. You can go from right hand side or you can go from left hand side. What I'll do is, okay, fine, no problem. Now next we'll go on to bending moment diagram. Okay, for plotting bending moment diagram, we know that whenever there is a point load, the bending moment will be linear itself. So if I want to go from 0 to some higher value, it will be linear, not parabolic or cubic. So while plotting bending moment diagram, again we need to follow the same procedure. We need to come from right section. Okay, since I am coming from right section, this is the first section. For this section towards right hand side there is no force, and since there is no force is 0 into perpendicular distance will become 0. So at this section the bending moment is 0. Now after this section, consider this section. Okay, for this section, come from right hand side, there is one force, that is w by 2, but like I said, the distance between this force and this section is 0. So force into 0 will become 0. So at this section also bending moment is 0. So both the section bending moment is 0. So here I'm starting from 0. This is a 0 bending moment line. I'm starting from 0 at this section. Now go to this section. At section C, come from right hand side. There is only one force, so there will be only one bending moment. This force is trying to, with respect to this section, this force is bending the beam upward like this. Okay, it is bending the beam upward. So I'm going to take it as positive. Then what is the value of bending moment? Force is w by 2 and distance is l by 2. So it will become w by 2 into l by 2, which will become wl by 4. So at this section the value is wl by 4. So from 0 I am going to draw a line like this. wl by 4 will be having some positive value. So I am taking this point at a random height from this point, and I am joining these two curve. After this section there is one more section at this point. Now if I consider this section, alright, if I consider this section and if I come from right hand side, there are two forces which are acting to the right of this section. One is this force and other is this force. So there will be two bending moments. Okay, now first is consider this force. Again, with respect to this section, this force is bending the beam in upward direction. That means it will give positive bending moment. So it will be plus w by 2 into this perpendicular distance is l by 2, because this section and this section, they are almost same. Okay, w by 2 into l by 2 will become wl by 4. Okay, and now consider this section. This section, the force is w but perpendicular distance is 0. So the bending moment due to this force is 0. So there is only one bending moment which is considered, that is w by 2 into l by 2, which is wl by 4, which we have already written here. That means if I consider both the section which are having 0 distance, almost 0 distance, same bending moment is applied. Okay, then after this point, consider this section. Now I can come from right side also, or I can come from left side also. Okay, but if I come from right hand side, I need to consider both the forces. But if I go from left hand side, it becomes easy. Okay, because only one force is there. So if you are smart enough, consider from left hand side. You should understand both from right hand side and left hand side. Okay, consider this section. Come from left hand side. if I come from left hand side, with respect to this section there is one force to the left, that is W by 2. Okay, there is a force, but is there any perpendicular distance? No, perpendicular distance is 0. So bending moment, which is force into perpendicular distance 0, force into 0 will become 0. So at this section bending moment will be 0. Similarly, if you consider this section, okay, towards the left of this section there is no any force. If there is no force, then there won't be any bending moment. So at this point the bending moment will be 0. Okay, so here bending moment is 0. Now how I am going to join it? I am going to join it as using straight line, because the load is point load. Remember this, whenever there is a point load, you need to join using a straight line for bending moment diagram, which we have seen in standard case. Okay, this was about SFD and BMD for 3-point bending. This you can see here that the maximum bending moment is WL by 4. This we have used it in our lab, where sigma B equal to M by I into Y. In that M value we have used WL by 4 because it is the maximum bending moment, and whenever the maximum bending moment is there, bending stress will also be maximum. So at this cross section, that is center cross section, bending moment will be maximum and bending stress will also be maximum. That means this section is critical, so we need to consider calculation of critical cross section. That is why we take this bending moment as WL by 4 while calculating bending stress in our lab.